Alright, alright, so, and a big day of games on this one. Really big day of games. I think it ended up being, well, it would have been 16 because my record was 9-7. So, yeah, big hearty day of games. This game, I think I played mostly Trace, so this is a good game from me. Nice little bit of that work there. In summary, I think the day was a bit of a weird one. Definitely streaky. I think most of my wins came early on, and then as the night wore on, I lost more and more, which I don't know if that's reflective of the quality of people I was playing with as the night goes on, or potentially... Oh, that was... Yeah, I remember thinking at the time that I was like, oh, I thought I had my recall. Big mistake. Or if it's more of a reflection on how less focused I was becoming, and not sober as well. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way this one went. Well, rather the night in general went. I think there's a lot of positives. Again, I find my Tracer to be, get that awkward spot where you're like, I can't really pull off surviving, walking forward, but the recall takes me back into danger. It's when you need to recall straight away. That is something I'm going to be working on, is I think for the focus of Tracer play moving forward is going to be better use of recall. Too many times I'm dying with it up. Too many times I'm using dashes, or blinks even, when I should really be using the recall, because otherwise if you use the blink and you go backwards, they're then where you want to be recalling, or where you would be recalling to, so it puts you in a bit of an awkward position, whereas if you just use the longer cooldown, suck it up, you will be in a better position overall. It is hard to give up the recall though, because in your heart, you know, it completely limits the plays you can make. As for, 9-7, really weird one. Started off, I had a real moment with Bastion over the last few days, to the point where I hadn't played him at all, went in this season, and then ended up with a 9-2 record, so an 80% win ratio, the game was telling me. And then I managed to lose 2 games on the trot, so that's down to 70% now. But it's clear that like the Bastion can just win games by himself, in the same way that sort of like Pharah can, if they don't have an plan for it. I don't mind missing that stick, you know. I can see what I was going for. This fight is the fight is so chaotic here, so I get so much done, and it's so much more enjoyable for Tracer if the fight is pure chaos. Playing with the Winston as well, that just ends up perfect. Kill him, and you know, I know the team's dead, so I get a free recall there. Just go back to where we started. But yeah, so I think I'm finding that, like I say, Tracer, if we're going to win the game, we win by a lot when I'm playing Tracer. However, if we weren't going to win the game, then we don't win the game. Like, I don't know if I think I wouldn't say I'm necessarily winning games. This may have been a bit of an exception, but generally that's my assumption. Either that, or I'm just trying to force her in situations that doesn't work, because I keep finding myself, you know, just going from hard carrying into getting absolutely zero value and being quite comfortably the worst player in the lobby, at least on the stats wise. Now I know what I'm trying to do, but if nothing comes off with her, you do find yourself getting very, very little value. Very similar to Sombra in that sense, actually. Of late, I had completely ruled off Sombra because I had a couple of games where I just was getting nothing done. Then had a couple of games where I was hard carrying. And then had another couple of games where I got nothing done. I don't understand how it can be so feast or famine sometimes, but I guess that's Overwatch. And I'm not really sure. The problem I have is if I understood what I was doing wrong each game, I was like, oh, I was playing, you know, Sombra into Cassidy, and this game, that's why I lost. Or what if I was... Nice stick. Happy with that. Or if I was doing X, Y, Z, then... and I knew that, then yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I'd know when to not play Tracer, I'd know when to not play Sombra, and my play would change accordingly. They truly did just ignore me this entire first round, which was clearly a very successful tactic. This may well be the best I've played Tracer in a long time. The aim's popping, 22 for 2 of the first round, 7k damage. Yeah, okay. Okay, doing some work here. Yeah, it's a hard one. And when I played Bastion, as I said, I think the last time, it just felt really therapeutic, really relaxing, and I genuinely got the sense that maybe I was better off playing these sort of static heroes that are a lot less mechanically intensive. But then I, again, like I say, lost those 2 games back to back and found that he was very, very limited. And I think it is just a question of will they adapt? Like, sure, you can play Bastion to a better level, to the point where you're harder to adapt to, but I think ultimately they will always be able to dodge your cooldown. That's, you know, your turret mode, and then a 12-second cooldown, which just puts you as a huge hitbox, mediocre damage, and yeah, very no CC at all. So a very easy character to sort of shut down. So where does that leave me in terms of what I'm playing? It's still going to be a lot of Tracer. I'm absolutely loving it. Even when I'm not getting stuff done, it's still great fun. There is always there's very rarely a situation where you're like, okay, there is absolutely nothing I can do. That might be part of the problem as well, because I will happily play Tracer into cast, and sometimes it will work, and then sometimes obviously the feeding begins. So really struggling with just knowing more characters, what to play and when to play. But I think stick with Tracer, stick playing these sort of AF angles, playing this one right. I've hung around for too long there. They get away, which is fine, but half the team's dead. We'll rotate round. Don't know if I want to go. Yeah, like he's just used the cleanse, so I should be going for a stick here, really. Okay, well, I'm sort of going for a stick here. Okay, not my best effort, but we'll take clipping the Mei before she gets the ult out. Go on, get her too. Finding that blink in and out, or out and in rather, is working very, very well. It seems to be that the key with Tracer is getting the aggro, but then moving before they've had a chance to turn on you. And that's not something that I think historically I've tried to sort of make it so, like, okay, you're in for a second, you're out for a second. I think it can't be that. You know, it needs to be a case-by-case basis. Like here, I could probably stay. Well, I could have stayed before the Sombra, because I got a big Mary chase here, because he wasn't looking at me, so I can have the agency to keep shooting, keep doing that ridiculous damage that the pulse guns do, and try and get a bit more job work done. I for sure feel like a nerf for Tracer is coming in Season 10. Now, I'm going to guess it's going to be the spread, or at least, you know, the damage in general. I think that's probably going to be where they hit. But it could be the recall cooldown. I just think it's very clear that Tracer is a little bit overpowered at the moment. I mean, I'm playing in, what, low plat? Oh yeah, I get back into plat ahead of these games. Ahead of this game, so I'm halfway through plat 5, I think, at this stage. But yeah, I think I would be shocked, absolutely shocked. Yeah, it's like that Moro chases me, and that happens a few times, I think. I would be shocked if they don't, because yeah, just comfortably the highest win ratio in the higher ranks, as well as just not even bad win ratios at the lower ranks where she should be losing a bit more. With that higher skill ceiling and higher skill floor, there really should be. She should be a character that doesn't do too well at the lower ranks generally. I mean, sure, she could have a 50% win ratio. That would probably be okay. But I think if she gets anything higher than that, it's probably a suggestion that she's a little bit overpowered, because she is so hard to play, and so comparatively, people at the lower ranks shouldn't be as good with them, because obviously the other side of that is if they are, then undoubtedly they're going to be much better with her at the higher ranks. This is a shame. That stick would be nice, but she has fade up anyway. Now I'm watching, so that wouldn't have changed anything. Get caught out a little bit in no man's land now. One of those awkward ones. I don't know how I'm going to get my way back. Have the recall. Realise I shouldn't have blinked. Just recalled first straight away. If I do that, I think I'd probably get the kill there, but again, that's going to be my focus moving forward, but I'm not going to beat myself up too much for that. Still alive, still wondering where that Sombra is though. Yeah, so she's right behind me. Okay, so she's got to be dead now, right? Missing a virus. Oh, yeah, fuck that up. Okay, it could have been a lot cleaner, but in the end I get her. Yeah, so that's going to be my focus. Better recall time. The other stuff I'm not going to focus about, worry about too much. Does this Mori get me? Yeah, she's going to get me now, isn't she? Yeah. The classic, like, can I get out? Maybe if I had known the way out of that room properly, rather than going in the wrong corner. But, you know, hey ho. Small margins on these things. Yeah, so I don't really know what to do about being so streaky. I guess not smoking in the evenings might be a big suggestion. Ooh, I quite like that one. I forgot about that. But this, I mean, if I could play like this as Tracer in Platinum, and this is how I play, I never climb, but I get these sort of scores, this sort of feeling. Then yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I'll be happy with that. You know, I'll be very happy with that for the rest of my life. Like, realistically, you know, I'm not gonna get too high a rank, am I? So it's all about having fun, and I bet this is about as much fun as one could possibly have. Particularly because I've got such a begrudging for all Moira players. It's nothing personal, Moira players, but you have a bad tendency to ruin me. And up until Season 9, every single Moira 1v1 duel I would get into, I would lose. Now, I wouldn't actively seek out those duels, don't get me wrong, but sometimes I'd be in a position of advantage. Like, okay, I just need to finish off this Moira. She'd fade into a health pack, she'd bounce off the bloody orb on the floor, she'd do all the tricks that she does, but most importantly, the thing that was frustrating me the most is I could never land a shot. As soon as she started pressing AD, something about the Moira hitbox I just found impossible. So, historically, I've lost to that character far too often. I'm struggling with her a bit there, even in Season 9. So it's a real grudge match for me. Whenever I get a Moira, I'm real pleased with myself. I also just dislike them because their ability just to hold right click. Yeah, look at this. They can play so aggressive. It just bothers me. No, you know that no other support would be like, just yeah, thank you. Would be doing that. Just be charging up endlessly because they can. So yeah, I've got a real disliking for Moira, particularly this season as well. Another character I definitely think should be getting nerfed. Way too powerful. And has been... well, just is for the season, actually. I think they gave her one... I think the range, for me, I think you can probably keep everything else, but the range on that right click, considering it's auto-lock, it is silly. And although the other option, which I much prefer, is the current version of the April Fool's Moira, where the heal isn't an area of effect piss thing that she has currently, but is instead the lock-on. Because I would love that. See, I should chase down that Moira harder here. I've lost her now as a result. She's going to get away, which is painful. Yeah, I'm definitely dead. So yeah, I kind of feel... Or maybe I'm not. I kind of feel like that's a trick missed. Oh, go on. 2. Yeah. Okay, I mean, like, when things like that happen, you know you're having a good day. I mean, that's incredibly lucky to get 2 there. Completely missed the stick, but we'll take it. So yeah, I think if Moira had the lock-on heals and then like the sort of piss damage, that would be much better. Plus, she would have AoE damage. So I think in a lot of ways, Moira players might be happy with that. Probably not. Don't know. They'd probably be upset they have to do some degree of aiming. That's a bit mean. Yeah. Anyway, look. It's the reason I hate Moira. It's not Moira. It's my inability to take care of Moiras. Okay. So I've sort of backcapped myself there, but 40 for 4, 17,000 damage. I mean, I'm comfortably playing some of the best Tracer I ever have. There's me going on some rant about how no character in game should be invisible. If you want to hear me talk for 25 minutes, catch me on one of those. Tell me that invisibility should be in games, and I will rant at you for 25 minutes. So again, just like defense, is Tracer is good. Those sort of maneuvers prove that she is. Great fun. great fun. Again, I was sort of debating it, but I was like, you can't go 40 for 4 and change characters, so you need to make them keep adapting to you. So they did get a full complete though. That's the one sort of down mark, black spot. Don't know. On our game here. Great nade, absolutely phenomenal nade. She dies for it, but what a nade. Not a bad blink either, actually, while we're watching it. Also, I gotta tell, if you're playing Brigitte to counter Tracer, it doesn't actually work that well. You're better off with the Kiriko, you're better off with the Moira, genuinely. Because I feel that I very often find myself outranging them, and as soon as they've missed their whip shot, then that's it. They're just stuck flailing outside of your range, where you can continue to beam them down. They're not terrible against Tracer, but they're certainly not the counter that people think she is. I can't remember what I was saying before, but yeah, I generally feel like this is a character that I do want to lose that time to, and I wish she was that Swiss Army knife. She feels like it in this game, but there's too many games where she just goes completely missing for me, and then I'll switch it up and be like, oh yeah, this is what happens. And I think it's partly to do with my aim, because look at me aiming at the ceiling there. I think there's also times where my aims can get very erratic. I really do think I struggle with strafing people in general. Perhaps that's something for me to work on, actually. Let me note that down. Strafing AD. There is tactics to that, isn't there? Some counter-strafing stuff that can happen. Anyway. Where's my record? Is this my record? No. Yeah. Anyway, alright, so made some notes there. Yeah, 9 and 7. Wild one. Don't know what was happening there. Alright. Just play patient. Play patient. The sim is a bit more of a struggle for Tracer, but even still, she has to get set up. I think that's probably the most obvious giveaway that a character's a little bit overtuned, is if even the counters aren't really counters, more of a 50-50 matchup. Having said that, Kiri is a real problem. So there it is. Guess we 3/4 of the way up plat 5. Happy days.